Finally, our senior football players. The first is senior Alex Anderson. Alex is being escorted by his mom Stephanie and dad Adam. He loves to play guitar and work on cars. He's going to get his ASE certifications and hopes to join the military. He would like to thank all of his coaches, his mom, and his dad. That is senior Alex Anderson. Up next is senior Langdon Davis. Langdon is being escorted by his father Robert and mother Tiffany, and also his brother Brady. He loves to fish, hang out with his friends and his family. He is a 3-year letter winner in football. His future plans include to attend the IBEW and become a lineman. He would like to thank his mom and dad for their amazing support on and off the field, his family for always being there and encouraging him in everything he does, and lastly, his coaches and teammates for helping him grow as an athlete and person. Senior Langdon Davis. Next is senior Logan Hersenberg. Logan is being escorted by his mom Natasha and dad Joey. He's a 3-year letter winner in football, 3-year letter winner in track and field, and second team all KMAC for the 300 hurdle. And he is soon to have the school record for the 300 hurdle. His future plans, he says, stay tuned. And he would like to thank his mom, dad, and God, the coaches, and Aiden Riggle for being so strong. Senior Logan Hersenberg. Up next is senior Jax Lester. Jackson is being escorted by his dad Josh and mom Natasha. He's also being escorted by his brothers Caden and Payton and sister-in-law Abby, and of course, nephew Big Brooks. His activities include hunting, fishing, being outdoors, concerts, spending time with his friends and family, and his dog Hank. He's a 4-year letter winner in football and 3-year letter winner in baseball. His future plans include to work as a firefighter or a paramedic. He would like to thank his brothers for never taking it easy or ever letting him win. His teammates for a memorable 4 years. His family for their constant support and encouragement. His co-captains, Aiden and Miles. Howard County for the amazing support. All of his coaches, past and present. The men and women who protect our country and freedom. And last but most important, he would like to thank God for blessings and giving him the ability to play the game he loves. Senior Jax Lester. Next is senior Miles Mitchell. Miles is escorted by his mother Allison and father Josh. He loves spending time with his family and his girlfriend Ari. He is his 2nd-year letter in varsity and one of this year's team's captains, earning the Most Improved Player award this last year. He will be entering the workforce while continuing his education in the trades. He would like to thank his mother for always being there to support him, coaches for their lessons on and off the field, and former and present teammates for having his back. That's senior Miles Mitchell. Next is senior Carver Stevens. Carver is being escorted by his dad Todd and his mom Tammy. He loves going fishing, hanging out with family and friends, and sleeping. His future plans include to graduate as an EMT and firefighter and to get his major in emergency management. He would like to thank his parents, his sisters, Aiden Riggle, and his girlfriend for always supporting him. That is senior Carver Stevens. Our last senior tonight is senior Aiden Riggle. Aiden is escorted by his dad John and his mom Kristen. He attends the Knox County Career Center and is in the sports medicine program. He has worked as a lifeguard for the Apple Valley Pools for the last 2 years. He's also a member of the National Technical Honor Society. Aiden was a member of the EK chapter of the FFA for his freshman and sophomore years, and he attended MVNU through the CCP program his junior year. Aiden would like to thank his football coaches, his lab instructor, Dean Taylor, his friends, the surrounding communities for their support and prayers, and especially this amazing Bulldog community, his family, and his parents. Above all, Aiden would like to thank God for his amazing grace. Aiden's future plans include to become an EMT upon beating cancer. That is senior Aiden Riggle. Congratulations to the class of 2026.
Chet Looney Stadium from Howard, Ohio, as we are set for some more KMAC action. No weeks off here at the OH Report. Centerburg Trojans come into town atop the conference as they take on the East Knox Bulldogs on their senior night. Pregame action coming up your way next, live and free on the OH Report.
From primary care to orthopedics, women's health to pain management, the Knox Community Hospital Centerburg Health and Wellness Center provides excellent care for virtually all your family's healthcare needs. Comprehensive lab services are also offered at our state-of-the-art facility. Podiatry and surgical consultations too. The Centerburg Health and Wellness Center. It's a world of great care right around the corner.
This place means everything to us. This is where we come together. We do all of our birthdays out here. We grill hamburgers and hot dogs. We fish. I was about to give up. I was about to think that the property wasn't going to become mine. Rural First specializes in solving the problems. I made the call, and the rest is history. It was done. It made everything easy. Questions answered, walked me through the process. It was done. When I'm here, just feel peace. That's all it means to me. Peace.
Take a look at all the action from Friday Night Football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Happy Halloween!
Time now for your pregame show presented by the Centerburg Health and Wellness along with Knox Community Hospital. It's that time of year, folks. Bring out the smoke machines. It's October. East Knox is going to make their way out to the field here for senior night. A bunch of seniors that they honored a little while back here on our broadcast, and they're going to want to send them out the right way. However, they bring in a really Centerburg squad as both teams come out on your screen live and free here on the OH Report. My name's Jonathon Langdon. Alongside me is Payton Colopy as we get to witness these two teams battle it out in our KMAC game of the week. Let's go ahead and talk about these Centerburg Trojans that we've gotten to see a lot of these last couple of weeks, Payton. They sit on a 6-game winning streak. They've scored 40-plus in all 6 of those games.
Danville really seemed to kind of shut them out in the first half with 0 offensive points on the board. There were 14 points in the first half coming by way of a pick 6 and I believe a punt return. They did have a 90-yard touchdown called back by a holding penalty, which kind of plagued them all night, even in the second half. Was the penalties and the yards that came with that. They got to get that cleaned up this week. East Knox is a tough team. The record definitely doesn't reflect how good this team is. So once they get those things cleaned up, I think they'll be solid.
Absolutely. And then just taking a look at this Centerburg team, of course, they've been led by Miles Marshall, who has been spectacular. He accounts for 144 of the team's 323 points. That just tells you the kind of season he's having. 21 offensive touchdowns you see on the graphic because we have to specify the pick 6 last week.
Yeah, Miles Marshall really kind of was really all over the field offensively and defensively. Really kind of broke out in the second half on offense last week, but all night long really just shut down that Danville offense that can be so potent and so dangerous throughout the game. And Miles Marshall was a real big part of that defensive kind of dominance that they had last week.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, and now looking at East Knox before we kick things off, Andy Beatty has his team 1-7 on the year, celebrating 9 seniors tonight. They had 237 yards offensively as we were about to kick things off, and then we were whistled off by the officials. Pre-game show wrapping up. First quarter coming up. This ball pooched short. That'll be right to Jackson Ballinger. He'll take a knee close to the 40. That's where things will start here tonight for the Centerburg Trojans squad. As we get a chance to see Blane Ball. I gave a new title to, this is very unofficial, I gave a new title, Payton, to the KMAC Player of the Year. It's called the Kmeisman.
The Kmeisman, I like it. I like it. The wordplay there is, it's interesting, but it's new and I like it.
So he, the quarterback for Centerburg, one of the front runners, and probably someone that's maybe even ahead of him, is in his backfield right now, Miles Marshall. Those two have been running away with the KMAC offensively this year as we see Marshall get a first down right on cue to midfield.
Yeah, Marshall just right up the middle there. Didn't really have anybody touch him until he got into the second level of East Knox defense. East Knox has got to try to get some hits on him and Blane Ball at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage to hopefully slow these guys down.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about that key from East Knox after this play. Blane Ball in the shotgun right at the 50. Just took one play to get to East Knox territory. Blane will tuck it and run now. He is going to get another solid 9-yard gain. Let's go ahead and talk about the keys to victory for this East Knox squad, and most of them pertain to the defensive end. You want to stay spaced, make sure you have all of your ground covered, not just on the defensive side, but that could transfer offensively as well, but the second level tackling is going to be huge.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, for me, both teams' keys to win tonight is going to be defensively. East Knox, they have to figure out how to stop this dynamic offense that Centerburg has, and Centerburg has to figure out how to stop Jax Lester.
2nd down and 1, rolling out to throw. Ballinger had 3 catches last week, already has 1 here. It's for a first down.
Yeah, Ballinger, I'm not surprised that Centerburg is already getting him into the action tonight, especially after the amazing game he had last week, and really the amazing games this season he's had so far this week or this year. Getting a lot of D1 looks out of Centerburg. he's definitely somebody that East Knox has got to get some hands on.
3 receivers here as Bollinger on the right side of the O-line. They'll go the opposite way to Hayden Love. Cannot make the connection there. He only had 1 catch last week for 3 yards.
And I don't know if it was maybe he just couldn't get open or if Danville was just really honing in on him so much. Didn't get a lot of looks last week. Had a couple targets, but like you said, just the 1 catch for 3 yards. There he was targeted there on that 1st and 10, and the ball just kind of sailed over him.
Bollinger motion near side. Up the middle of the field, watch out in the seam. Flag thrown right before the play. Will continue on. Marshall gets inside the 25, threatening to the red zone, but hold everything. There's some laundry on the floor. Looks like a false start, yeah?
Yeah, I think that's what the call is going to be. Looks like one of the Centerburg linemen moved just a little early.
So take him back a couple yards. This will turn into, should be 1st down and 15. I know they'll say 2nd down and 15. And the clock will run as well. And after that, we're going to see a quick timeout here from Coach Andy Beatty. Wondering what he saw. Maybe it was off of our screen. Maybe something defensively, positioning-wise, was off and wanted to make sure that he got that timeout call, because that's with not even 2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, Coach Beatty taking a timeout. Again, it's just a minute 50 seconds into this game. He definitely saw something. He wanted to get relayed to his guys. Maybe he didn't feel he had enough time to get that message to his defensive unit out there. So interesting timeout here, but as we know, Coach Beatty, as well as we do, he's always got a plan, and he's always got reasons for why he does what he does.
Yeah, absolutely. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 15 out of this timeout. And as we do sit in this timeout, why not take a look at keys to victory for this Centerburg squad. Of course, Miles Marshall and Blane Ball, both of each accounted for 20-plus touchdowns, but the secondary tonight sets the tone on the defensive side. And then offensively, how about some downfield blocking?
Yeah, the offensive line, I think, was really good getting downfield last week. Obviously, a little too much holding for their liking.
As here goes Miles Marshall, nearly untouched to the end zone. It's a touchdown early for Centerburg.
And that right there, we saw exactly what Centerburg needed to do. They got downfield blocks going. The blocks were sustained pretty much all the way through the play. Lineman was able to get to the 2nd level fairly easy. Able to get the blocks laid down. You got receivers blocking downfield. Just like you said, that's what Centerburg needed to do. That's what they're doing in that play.
So Miles Marshall, his 22nd touchdown of the year. He had 3 2-point conversions. Of course, Centerburg does not kick extra points. We'll see if he gets another one here. Not even 2 minutes into the game, Centerburg on the board. Snap to ball, give it back to Miles, and there he goes. Into the end zone, 2 points added to the Centerburg score. It is 8-0 here early from Chet Looney Stadium.
This place means everything to us. This is where we come together. We do all of our birthdays out here. We grill hamburgers and hot dogs. We fish. I was about to give up. I was about to think that the property wasn't going to become mine. Rural First specializes in solving the problems. I made the call, and the rest is history. It was done. It made everything easy. Questions answered, walked me through the process. It was done. When I'm here, just feel peace. That's all it means to me. Peace.
Just had the kickoff here. We'll show that to you again, thanks to Knox Public Health. As we're back live and free on the OH Report, my name's Jonathon Langdon, Payton Colopy alongside me. Former Danville Blue Devil making his way over to Chet Looney tonight. We'll see first down and 10 as the new drive starts for the first time. Jax Lester brings his troops out to the field for the Bulldogs. They will look just like Centerburg did on their first drive, mostly shotgun formation as Ball quickly drops the pass, goes deep down the field to test the secondary. That was right at the lap of the intended target. There's a late flag that flies on the throw intended for Logan Clark.
Yeah, Hayden Love right there with him along the sidelines, kind of giving him some really good coverage. Threw his arm up there a couple of times, trying to anticipate the pass coming in to try to break it up. Obviously he was able to, but the ref saw a little bit of extra contact that they didn't like, and yellow flag came out.
Yeah, so make it pass interference. That'll move the ball up 15 yards. So give it an automatic first down and in one play. East Knox is in Centerburg territory. The trend of pooch kicks is starting to run rampant in the KMAC, and it has helped a lot of teams get in great field position. Lester, another shot down the field. This will be too far. That time he was looking for Logan Hersenberg.
Yeah, it looked like Hersenberg was had a step or two there on the cornerback there for Centerburg, but ball kind of sailed there on Lester a little bit, a couple of yards too deep downfield, and Hersenberg wasn't able to draw it in. And I do have a theory on those pooch kicks. I just looked him up. Coach Kevin Kelly of Pulaski Academy in Little Rock, Arkansas, is famous for not punting. He also does not kick the ball downfield on kickoffs.
Interesting. Maybe we'd have to look into that throughout the next week, and we'll have to have a follow-up for Devil Dog as we see a run for a couple yards here from East Knox.
Yeah, this Coach Kelly there in Arkansas, he is very successful in Arkansas doing this. He only kicks onside kicks, and he's winning games 50, 60 points every week. So that might be the inspiration that some of these coaches are getting it from. Maybe that's just my theory, a little bit far-fetched.
I do remember hearing of the guy a couple years ago, but I didn't think his ideals would stick. But it seems as if they may be. Third down and medium here, throw down the middle, broken up after one of the East Knox receivers is sandwiched by that Centerburg defense.
There you had Logan Hersenberg there again, trying to hit him just over the middle. He had his hands on the ball, but he took a heck of a shot there to the midsection. Ball come popping out, and he's a little slow getting back to the huddle. I think coaches might be pulling him off to the sidelines for this play.
And another thing with those pooch kicks is that sometimes in a situation like this, you're going to go for it on 4th down and 5 here, because this is kind of go for it range instead of punting it. So Centerburg, if they get the stop, could get good field position themselves. 4th down and 5, slant up the middle, batted down by Love wisely. They'll take the ball at the 46-yard or at the 44-yard line to start their possession on a turnover on downs.
Yeah, you had Clark there. Clark was in really good position to get the first down there. It was just an easy slant right at the sticks. Once he hits that first down marker, plants his foot, cuts to the inside on a slant route. Again, it looks like Lester just kind of sailed it on him, wasn't able to get it on target.
So the Trojans already with the football back. Possession took 55 seconds off the clock. That's the downside of being a throwing football team sometimes for the Bulldogs. Rolling out to his right, pass completed to Indiciani, who went all of last week without a catch.
Ball had some pressure on him as soon as he caught the snap. Looked like Boyd, number 28 for East Knox, shot in, timed the snap perfectly. He was at the line of scrimmage right as the ball was being snapped, but Blane Ball able to get the pass off, and looks like we're looking at 2nd and 2 for Centerburg.
Near side, Hayden Love one-on-one with Logan Hersenberg, who is stepping in for the injured Dakota Cooper defensively. They're going to go to Miles Marshall, and he breaks out again this near side. Breaks a couple tackles. He's in the red zone, taken out inside the 10.
There's that downfield blocking again that we were talking about. You see number 81, Ballinger for Centerburg, really kind of manhandling that East Knox defender downfield. And then obviously Rush Beatty able to come in and knock him out of bounds. It looks like the East Knox 9-yard line is what I'm looking at.
So Centerburg already stacking up some big chunk plays. Empty backfield here for Blane. Marshall will join him on sort of the sweep action. It's a keeper. Blane Ball parts the sea. My goodness, those blockers have been impressive early on. It's another Trojan touchdown.
Yeah, honestly, the blocking scheme there worked so well. Number 51, Clark Red, didn't have anybody else left to block because everybody was covered. So he just kind of just walked right in with Blane Ball into the end zone there, kind of gave him a personal escort there.
So Ball with his 22nd touchdown of the year. So Miles and Blane just going blow for blow when it comes to getting into the end zone.
Yeah, East Knox has got to start getting a lot of pressure on these guys. I know it's hard with that big Centerburg front there, but they got to get some more pressure on them, kind of maybe throw them off their game a little bit.
Handoff back to Marshall. Easy 2-point try. 16-0. Trojans asserting their dominance here at Chet Looney. Another short kick. This one nearly bobbled, but ultimately scooped up. Carver Stevens, the kicker on the other side for East Knox, falls on it at the 47-yard line. Didn't get a chance to really spotlight Jax Lester that last possession, but let's talk about him now. Last week, 11-24 passing, so the completions percentage in the last few games has been dipping, and it has here tonight so far. He's not been able to link up with any of his receivers.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with him the last couple of weeks. Not sure if maybe it's just getting close to the end of the year. Guys are starting to get tired. His arm's probably starting to get a little tired. East Knox has done a lot of throwing this year. But whatever it is, I'm sure he's going to be able to get it figured out tonight and get back on his game.
Great jump off the line from Sean Carter. Nice TFL for him.
Sean Carter, another one of those guys for Centerburg, and we talked quite a bit about on that defensive unit for Centerburg. Really kind of blew up that play from the get-go. Wasn't really anywhere for number 15, Logan Clark, to go on that one.
He got the carry. Langdon Boyd now rejoins the field, the primary back for this East Knox team. However, they've struggled getting him going as well. The pass game has been very reliable. Running game, not so much for this East Knox team. 2nd down and 13, ball in the 44. Lester, quick drop back. He's hit hard. Tommy Haas. He had 2 interceptions last week. Here he is with a sack.
Yeah, it looked like Haas and Ballinger just kind of muscled their way and bullied their way through that offensive line. Excuse me, that wasn't Ballinger. That was, looks like number 50, Aiden Gray, another one of those Centerburg seniors that we saw celebrated last week at their senior night. Just kind of muscled and bullied their way through the offensive line there and wasn't anywhere for Lester to go.
It's very hard to find another team in the KMAC that has the size to really compete with the Centerburg defensive front. And we'll have another timeout early from Coach Beatty. That's his 2nd already called. Just needs to regroup with this offense that has been stagnant to start.
using 2 of your 3 timeouts in the first quarter, not even halfway through the first quarter. He's clearly not happy with how the game has started so far. I know Coach Beatty's trying to give them a little bit of a pep talk down there, as well as trying to figure out an offensive game plan that's going to work, because obviously what they had planned so far isn't going their way tonight. But it's hard to get anything going against the Centerburg defensive unit.
Take a look at some of the other games going on in the area. Mount Gilead over at Loudonville tonight. Danville taking on Fredericktown in prep for the Devil Dog game. Northmore against Cardington. This is our only game tonight on the OH Report in the realm of the KMAC. 3rd down and 20. Long way to go here for this Bulldog squad, but typically the problem is that you've got a running team that ends up in 3rd down and long, but this East Knox Bulldog team could easily launch one out and get a first here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've seen Lester's arm already so far this game. A couple passes kind of went off the mark there for him. As he goes deep again here.
Shot down the field, it's completed.
This one.
Kaysen Fawcett to the end zone.
That right there is exactly what East Knox needed to get things rolling for their offense. You hear those air horns coming in for the touchdown there in celebration for that. Big play, big momentum gainer for East Knox. They got to take this momentum and excitement that they have right now after that touchdown and carry that through the rest of this game, because this defense is so good.
Shout out to Jax Lester. Just was announced over the PA that he is now reached 6,000 all-purpose yards in his career with that touchdown pass to Kaysen Fawcett. Jax, what a player.
Congratulations, young man.
They'll hand it off here on this 2-point conversion. Rush Beatty trying to fight for that goal line. Looks like he may have been left a little bit short. So keep it 16-6 ball game. We're going to stay here. Want to take a look at that replay again, because Payton, I think he got Sean Carter with his pump fake. You saw at the bottom of your screen. Take a shot down the field, wide open.
Yeah, he definitely caught him looking in the backfield just a little too much. Carter kind of lost sight of his man that he needed to cover, and Lester, we know how dangerous he is, made him pay for that mistake. And again, congratulations to Lester. Over 6,000 career all-purpose yards in his 4 years here at East Knox. It's an insane stat at any level. Again, congratulations to the young man. He's well deserved it.
Jax, the leading passer in the KMAC, with coming into today over 1,400 yards. That's his 19th touchdown of the year through the air. And that's also the 5th touchdown for Fawcett, who is a surging sophomore. And I mean surging quickly for this East Knox team. He's had a touchdown in each of the last 3 weeks now. Short kick. Bollinger could not scoop it. Finally dives on it before going out of bounds. But nearly a nice turn there for East Knox. They trail by 10 in a 16-6 game. You see Centerburg's offense around the 31.
You see back-to-back pooch kicks that almost worked for the kicking team. Centerburg almost getting the ball back after their last touchdown, and then East Knox able to get just the right bounce off of Bollinger's shoulder pads there. Again, maybe these coaches just know something that we don't.
Empty backfield for Blane Ball. 4 receivers. Marshall in the slot near side. Look for him to go motion. Here he comes. Fake to Marshall. They'll take a shot down the field. Bollinger cannot connect. Logan Clark, the nice defense.
Looking for the big man downfield, just kind of throwing it up to him. I think there might be a flag. I don't see anything down on the field, but they're going to call another holding on Centerburg. Again, something that plagued them all last week.
There was a flag on the play, holding.
See if we see it on this replay again before the throw goes down the field.
I believe it was number 58, Lane Johnson. I kind of watched him there. You can't see it on the replay, but down here towards the numbers, a little closer to the press box here, almost looked like he kind of tackled him. I didn't quite catch everything, so I thought maybe it was a clean block, but the referees did not think so.
First down and 20, a blitz does not work. Marshall already has the first down. He's got plenty of yards here in this first quarter. He's tackled at the shoestrings inside the 25.
Yeah, Rush Beatty kind of just trying to keep up with Marshall. He's able to just get enough of him, trip him up. But that penalty flag that they just had, that holding call, is essentially eliminated. It's like it never even happened because Marshall just kind of blew right through that offensive line and didn't really have anybody near him.
Big play on first down and 20 brings up a new set of downs at the 25 of East Knox. Marshall will get the call again. My goodness, these blockers are impressive. Hit into the end zone. Marshall's got his second here in the quarter. I mean, it's comical at this point.
Yeah, I think it was number 55, Caden Rittenauer, really had a chance to make a play there, but Marshall, with his elusiveness, it obviously wasn't enough to try to dive in his legs. And that offensive front got everything sealed in perfectly. You can tell this coaching staff has really pushed technique on these guys, and it's paying off for them tremendously.
2-point try. Marshall gets the call again. He's in.
And he got it.
They give it to him. So make it 24-6. Give you another look at that 2-point try. Did the knee go down? It may have, but I think the ball was across the plane first. We'll take a break, come back. It's a 24-6 game already here in the first quarter, just halfway through it on the OH Report.
This place means everything to us. This is where we come together. We do all of our birthdays out here. We grill hamburgers and hot dogs. We fish. I was about to give up. I was about to think that the property wasn't going to become mine. Rural First specializes in solving the problems. I made the call, and the rest is history. It was done. It made everything easy. Questions answered, walked me through the process. It was done. When I'm here, just feel peace. That's all it means to me. Peace.
(24-6). You may be wondering, hey, how long has this game been going on? Well, a solid 24 minutes. We're only halfway through this first quarter. It has been a great offensive game so far, especially for Centerburg, but we saw East Knox take a shot down the field as they'll get another chance with their offense taking it down the field. Bulldogs will crew up with their quarterback, Jax Lester, who just hit 6,000 career all-purpose yards on a long touchdown pass to Kason Fawcett to get them on the board a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that timeout they took right before that play. Looks like Coach Beatty had the perfect play call in mind. Executed almost perfectly by Lester, able to draw up Sean Carter on the pup fake.
They'll give to Langdon Boyd to start this drive. He'll gain about 2. That's about how many he averaged last week for this East Knox run game.
Gain 2 yards on the play, brings up 2nd and 8.
I believe that was 77 Angelo Nichols on the tackle there. That's one of those guys that we talked a lot about last week, Centerburg's size. This is one of those guys that Centerburg's big compared to everybody else. This kid's big compared to Centerburg.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be right at that nose tackle. See if East Knox decides to run at him again. That they will, bricking through Boyd close to the 40. This will make it 3rd down and short, about 3.
Boyd, the ball carrier again. Gain 5 yards on the play.
The biggest thing from East Knox, I got to see them play week 1 against Northridge. Their running offense wasn't too bad in that game, but in the games previous, like these last couple of weeks, they haven't been able to get that going. It's been all Jax Lester through the air, and then sometimes him tucking it and running it himself. But against the Centerburg team, 4 yards in a cloud of dust, probably not going to work, even though you do sit in 3rd down and 3 territory right now. 2 backs with Lester. They'll go back to the ground. This one will be short by a yard.
Yeah, it looks like honestly, with how kind of fast East Knox's running game kind of just became non-existent, you can definitely tell these coaches are really honing in on their running game and making that a big priority in their film study throughout the week. Lester there looked like he's trying to draw the Centerburg defensive line off sides. Great discipline by those guys, not jumping.
9 seconds on the play clock. 4th down and 1. They are going to take it, and they will get the first down with Boyd. A few more yards as well to be a gain of 3 to the 44.
Boyd ball carrier. First down, Bulldogs.
Yeah, Centerburg kind of had everybody stacked up to the right side of that line. Centerburg's right, East Knox to the left. And East Knox really just going backside with that. They saw an opening on the backside and made that Centerburg defense front hurt.
So move those chains. 3.5 to go here in this first quarter. Centerburg already leads 24-6. Lester, a quick throw this time, complete to Fawcett. The second catch of the day for the sophomore. Will go for about 8.
Again, you mentioned Case and Fawcett earlier, kind of really just exploding onto the scene really out of nowhere. Didn't really have a lot of production in the early part of the season, but this latter half of the season, East Knox really started using him a lot. He's been really impressing the coaching staff there in practice and in film study. So he's going to be used a lot this week and again next week against Danville in the Devil Dog game.
Over to give, close to the first down marker, may have been cut off a little bit short. They're marking him pretty much right at the original line of scrimmage.
And I think that's a good call there by the refs. It looks like he might have been able to sneak the ball forward a little bit if he stretched it out, but that's such a dangerous spot to stretch it. I think it's a good call there by the refs.
Another big boy formation out of East Knox, and Lester will sneak it himself for a few yards. Centerburg territory here as the ball moves to the 43. So East Knox last week, offensively, it hasn't been too big of a problem just getting overall yards. They had 237 yards against Fredericktown in a game they lost by 9. Third time this season that they went without a giveaway in that game. They didn't turn it over. If they did, it was on downs. Just overall, the offense not getting to the chains instead of losing the ball. Lester back to pass, evades the pocket, floats one over to Fawcett, who's open, nearly gets past Love. Nice wraparound tackle from the Trojan. There's a first down again.
He kind of makes a move there, trying to get a couple extra yards. Looked like it was at least a little successful down to the 26-yard line of Centerburg. But going back to last week, the East Knox Fredericktown game, kind of sounds like East Knox just flat out got beat by Fredericktown. Not giving the ball away any, not really giving any kind of free plays for that Freddy's team. It sounds like you said, the offense just couldn't get things going and they just got beat.
Boyd blown up immediately. Not going to be for a loss. It'll get back to the original line. But Boyd did not have much time before that Centerburg defense collapsed on him.
That was a hard hit there by Hagen Bryant. Looked like he was coming up, showing blitz, telling that offensive front that he's coming and he's coming hard, and they weren't able to pick him up. Clearly he came in almost untouched.
45 seconds to go here in quarter number 1. East Knox has taken the slower route since we saw 30 points in the first half of this quarter. Bubble route here out of Case and Fawcett. He's open again, and he is carried backwards. Forward progress. Saw the officials blow the whistle before that ball spilled away. It'll be third down and short.
Yeah, right there looked like just another quick pass. We've seen a lot from these KMAC teams the last few weeks. Number 15, Logan Clark, was out there to kind of lay down a block and allow Fawcett to get out to the sidelines. And I think that's going to bring up the quarter there.
So both teams content, heading over to their huddles. Centerburg leads 24-6. It's been dominant offense from the Trojans. East Knox, they put a touchdown on the board. Now they're trying to slow down this game. We'll see how that goes. Coming back live and free on the OH Report. Welcome back. Second quarter just about set to go here live and free on the OH Report. East Knox driving right now, about a 6-minute drive. As we've seen Kason Fawcett get a lot of work here. He had 9 catches for 80 yards last week. As they'll go on the ground this time, Boyd on third down is shut off. Let's go for it territory, however. As the ball now going to be placed at the 20-yard line inside the red zone here for the Bulldogs.
Hey, saw Boyd kind of get basically right back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard behind it, and was just stopped dead in his tracks and then immediately swallowed up by a lot of white jerseys down there. There was probably 5 or 6 guys on him.
Left side car, Boyd. Lester faces some pressure, drops back to pass, has to shuffle to his right, looking cross court or cross field, ends up throwing this away. It'll be a turnover on downs.
Yeah, he didn't have anything downfield, just like last week. Danville didn't really have anything going for their passing game because that defensive secondary for Centerburg was just so locked down and covering everybody, not really giving them any opportunity to throw. You just kind of had to throw that one away to avoid the sack and giving Centerburg even more yardage.
So the Trojans will take over at the 19. Carr moves Hayden Love in motion. Ball rolling out near side. Past the line of scrimmage, he'll take it himself. Landon Boyd, the first body to him. Riddenauer joins him for the group tackle as it's a gain of 5. Centerburg senior captains honored at the beginning of this game. They were honored to present Aiden Riggle and his family. The proceeds collected at their 50-50 raffles during their Johnstown and Utica games earlier in the season. Tonight they donated $3,219 in support of Aiden's fight. They gave that to them during the coin toss of this game. Snap right at the 20. They'll give to Sean Carter, who gets some play here early in the second quarter, right to the first down marker. But Payton, it's been a great season getting to see everyone in the area support Aiden Riggle in his fight. Of course, it was a senior night today. He was not able to make it out, but still a lot of love for Aiden tonight.
Yeah, it's always warming to the heart to see teams come together the way that this county really has all season for not only for Aiden but his entire family. And $3,000, that's a lot of money. It's going to go a long way for that family. I'd be interested to see.
Here goes Carter. Carter, great blocking from the offensive line. He'll get untouched to the end zone. Touchdown Centerburg.
He had no one around him from the moment he touched the ball to the moment he crossed the goal line. There wasn't anywhere near him.
It's about the easiest touchdown he will ever score as he takes that to the house, makes it 30-6.
So going back to the Riggle family and the support that they've seen from this entire county, I'd be interested to see how much money and proceeds was collected, not only from the 50-50 raffles at was collected by East Knox fans here in Chet Looney Stadium, but the T-shirt sales around the county as well earlier this season. I'd be interested to see how much was able to get collected for that family.
They went with the extra point this time, and Brian Frabel sends it through, makes it 31-6. We'll stay here, take a look at the KMAC standings coming into tonight's game. Oh, wrong graphic there. Let's go with this one. Centerburg, 7-1, sit at the top, 5-0. Mount Gilead and Fredericktown, 4-1. Mount Gilead beat Fredericktown, lost to Centerburg, so there's a clear tiering, even though those three teams sit 7-1 right now. And then the bottom of the pack gets interesting because you've got Northmore even 500, Danville even 500. Probably two records that you didn't see coming into this year.
Yeah, Danville was one of our preseason favorites to go back-to-back championship. I'm sorry, not back-to-back, to reclaim the KMAC championship after Northmore's really dominant season that they had last year. But Centerburg was another one of those teams we talked about a lot that was in high contention for the conference championship this year. And rightfully so. They've proven that they are champions. They just got to get through tonight and then next week with the Freddyburg game.
Bravo, a long kick all the way over to the 15. This one fielded by Jared Ellswick. Takes it about 15 yards up the field. Payton, when it comes to early season projections, I know that you were high on your Danville squad. I was all in on the Centerburg team right away. I knew what they were bringing back. Whenever you bring back 4 offensive linemen, that's always a great sign, and look at what they've done this year.
Yeah, having that much experience on the offensive front, like you said, bringing back 4 starters, it's almost like you have a lot of wise men basically up front there, really only bringing one new guy, and I know he got a lot of reps in last year on the varsity squad.
Lester the snap, they'll give it off to Boyd, who breaks his way through. It's a nice long run for Langdon. It's a first down for the sophomore.
Yeah, right there, he just kind of tucked the ball up high, put his head down, followed his blockers, and really just kind of kept his legs driving, hoping he was able to find an opening, able to find it, pick up a nice 12, 13-yard run there to continue this East Knox drive.
It's very hard to follow up a Blake Elliott type player, but Landon Boyd, just a sophomore, he's got plenty of room to grow. He'll have that opportunity to get to that level. Last couple weeks he has been held to just under 3 yards a carry. Looking to improve that here today as he's already eaten up by Haas at the line. It'll be a 1.5-yard gain.
Yeah, again, you mentioned Blake Elliott last year. He was just somebody that caused a lot of problems and a lot of headaches for the opposing defense. And again, like you said, Boyd, just a sophomore. He's already looked good, looked solid throughout this season so far. He's only going to get better. Coach Beatty's really excited about him. I know he is. He's gonna look really good the next coming years.
Lester in the shotgun. He's got 2 receivers far side. 3 in coverage for Centerburg on that end. They'll throw it that way. However, Ballinger makes a nice deflection at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he just got that big bear paw of his up in the air right at the perfect time, and able to get himself a pass deflection there.
He nearly had one on the play where East Knox got that touchdown, but Lester threw the little pump fake and then took a shot down the field. But Jackson has been all over in this game, just putting pressure on the quarterback. Has yet to record a sack, however. But you can see the effort that he's putting forth that could get him there eventually. Last week he had 3.5 tackles and a sack. Lester keeps this himself, just gets close to the line of scrimmage, or close to the line to gain.
Yeah, those sack stats are always nice to have, especially as a player. You like getting sacks because it makes you feel good, makes you excited. But he's doing his job. He's doing it consistently. He's doing it proficiently, and it's definitely been able to help out the defensive secondary for Centerburg a ton. and I know the coaches, all they ask for is just do your job.
And another hard part is you can't really stack up sacks on a team that has such a good secondary that teams will opt to run the ball against a really strong defensive line instead of taking these shots like they just did there to Fawcett, as it'll be another turnover on downs for the Bulldogs. But it's kind of a pick your poison when you're playing this Centerburg team.
Yeah, there's not really a lot that this defense gives you. You try to run the ball on them. You got that huge defensive front led by Jackson Ballinger to kind of really swallow you up almost as soon as the ball snapped. And then when you try to throw it down deep to open up those running lanes to kind of make Centerburg respect you a little bit, their defensive secondary, their DBs, their safeties, cornerbacks, they're all so efficient in their game that they don't give up anything either.
Trips near side here to first down and 10. 31-6 in favor of Centerburg. 7.5 minutes to go here in quarter number 2. Shot down the field. Hayden Love was quiet last week. Can't quiet him down here at Chet Looney. It's a touchdown for Centerburg on the first play of the drive.
Hayden Love was just untouched, uncovered. It was definitely a mismatch there that Ball saw. And he didn't want to go anywhere else with that. As soon as he caught the snap from the center, he immediately looked left, looked at Hayden Love, and saw that huge open area that he was running in. All he had to do was just drop the pass right in this perfect spot.
We'll get to see Brand Fravel kick another extra point. This one up and through. So make it 38-6. I'll shout out a couple comments here on the Facebook section. Shout out Corey cheering on the Bulldogs along with Linda, Marla, Michael, and Zach. And also shout out to the Trojan fans. Rachel, Tanya, and also more space at your place saying, "Go Trojans, bring home another victory." And Michael said, "Nice to watch this at home on my 60-inch TV. That's how I like to see it." Now I hope you have 3 or 4 more down in your basement and you're watching all of our other games here at the OH Report as we are nice and busy on this week 9 of action.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like he's got a pretty good setup there with the 60-inch there in his living room. It's definitely nice watching some football games, especially local high school games on those TVs.
Just checking in on some of the other games in action right now. Big Walnut putting it on Dublin Kaufman. Is that Kaufman? Scioto, Dublin Scioto, 32-0. Centerburg will kick it off to East Knox. That's a game that's on the NFHS network in partnership with us here at the OH Report. This ball scooped up by Logan Clark. He'll try to shift it near side. Got some nice room, gets out to the 40.
Logan Clark with the return.
I remember in week 1 when I was here against Northridge, Bulldogs special teams actually had a great day. They had a couple of returns. They had one go back all the way for a touchdown, and he had another one get into opposing territory.
Yeah, those are definitely fun to have. It looks like Logan Clark definitely had that on his mind here, but got up right to his own 40-yard line and really just shoved out of bounds there by Hayden Love. But Clark there, he's definitely huffing and puffing a little bit. Ran 60 to gain 20 there on that one, but giving that East Knox offensive unit some pretty decent field position.
Ball start at the 40 for Lester, 38-6. Trojans with a big lead. Great jump from Ballinger. Off of the line, it's a short screen play as this will go for a few yards. Gets that to Logan Clark.
Looks like he had Logan Hersenberg, number 10, there on the outside, trying to shove the cornerback there for Centerburg inside so he could kind of squeak out towards the sidelines. Must not have seen the seal block put on there by his receiver, but still able to get a decent gain out of it, 4-yard gain.
Checking in elsewhere on the OH Report as well. Upper Sandusky taking on Colonel Crawford. Eagles up big already, 32-7 in that game over Upper. Kirk Richards on the call. Got the tough task of going over to Upper Sandusky, a place that does not have the greatest reception for us here at the OH Report. Hard to get a good stream out over there as Fawcett makes a catch at the 50, 3rd down and 1.
Brings up about 31.
And if you're wondering if we, as broadcasters, have venues circled that we don't want to go to, we do. This is not one of them, though. This is a great spot to be. Chet Looney, great place.
No, East Knox is always a fun stadium to be at as a fan, as a player, as a coach, and now experiencing it as a broadcaster. I can tell you it doesn't disappoint ever. I love how close we are to the field. You can really see everything. As you see Lester there handed off to Boyd, I believe, right up the middle.
Yes, sir. That's a first down brought to you by Carothers Pest Control.
And even at stadiums like last week, Centerburg, you're kind of right on top of the field, but the press box seems to be a little further back, a little harder to see, but this stadium is definitely one of the favorites for just about anybody in the KMAC. I know Coach Bloom and Coach Duncan definitely love coming over here to play. Even for the Devil Dog game, this is one of their favorite stadiums to play at, other than, obviously, Tough Street Stadium.
First down and 10, ball in the Centerburg 46. Handoff again, going to Boyd. He'll be taken down close to the 40 at the 41.
Boyd, the ball carrier.
Get you another look at that, brought to you by Knox Public Health. Now another venue that I love to be at, and I know you love to be at, is Tough Street, and that's where we're going to be next week for probably the biggest game of the year.
Again, that just like Chet Looney Stadium here in Howard, it's always one of those stadiums that experiencing it as a player, a coach, a fan, and now as a broadcaster, it doesn't disappoint at any level that you go to watch the game, even watching it at home with these great broadcasts that we're able to put on here for the OH Report.
Nice job lowering the body from Boyd, trucking through for a first down.
First down, Bulldogs.
That's the toughness that we're starting to see out of Langdon here, just that's kind of built up over the season. Finding his way to truck through some players. I'm definitely 100% sure he's going to start to hit the weight room next year and really build up that Blake Elliott build that we saw last season.
Yeah, Blake Elliott, he was just
bruiser.
He just looked like a monster out there. The pads normally make everybody else look bigger. You didn't need the pads to help him look bigger.
Boyd now in the sidecar with Lester, 2 receivers. We'll give it back to Langdon. He stumbles at first, still fights through 2 tacklers inside the 30. Langdon having an impressive drive.
Looks like maybe a little mishap snap there. The snap kind of came a little high. Both Boyd and Lester went up to grab it. And that right there, that run by Boyd, he was hit almost immediately in the backfield. Centerburg definitely thought they had a good loss. Tackle for a loss there, but Boyd, he already as a sophomore, looks like they have him listed at 5'10", 175. With how strong and how big he is already at 16 years old, he's only going to get bigger and stronger, and he's going to get more impressive, and defenses are definitely going to have to hone in on him the next 2 years.
Yeah, gang tackle there by Clark Red and Hagan Bryant. Leaves it now to 3rd down and 2.
We talk a lot about how big this Centerburg team, especially their defensive and offensive line, is compared to everybody else. And I said last week, it's not so much how much taller they are than everybody, it's how much thicker and how much stronger they are than everybody. Right here, you see East Knox kind of putting a little bit of a drive together, running the ball. Looking at this defensive front, looks like they're breathing a little heavier than usual. So East Knox definitely wearing him down. You see Lester drop back to pass here.
Takes a shot. Mid-range pass over to Clark. He loves that out route.
That right there is exactly what Lester is so good at doing. As well as Coach Beatty and this coaching staff, they're going to pound the ball and pound the ball and pound the ball, make you respect the run, kind of bring guys up a little bit, open up those passing lanes, and there you see Lester connecting with Clark. But again, it looks like East Knox just kind of wearing down that defensive front for Centerburg. I wouldn't be surprised if Centerburg starts rotating in a couple of their reserve defensive linemen to try to get these guys a little bit of breather. A lot of these guys playing both ways, offense and defensive line. So it gets tiring, even this early in the game with 2 minutes left in the first half. As Lester drops back.
This ball deflected and looking for Clark down the field. He was collapsed on quickly.
Looks like he had him there. Maybe just threw the ball a little late. And, yeah, it looks like the ball was just thrown just a hair late. Clark not able to bring it in. Had 3 Centerburg defenders kind of all around him there.
We were talking about Devil Dog before. I wanted to check that score of the Danville-Fredericktown game. It sits 20-6 in favor of the Freddies.
Ooh, that's rough. We know how good of a coach Coach Spittler is, and how great that program is over in Fredericktown. So it's not surprising to see that score with how the great combination they got figured out. But
Lester looking towards the end zone. Kason Fawcett blanketed by Miles Marshall. We'll bring up 3rd down and 10 after 2 incompletions here in this set. But it's going to be exciting. Rivalry week, always great everywhere in Ohio. Danville and East Knox, they will be celebrating their 65th game with 11 men on the field.
Yeah, the Danville program has invited everybody who was a part of that first Devil Dog game, that first 11-man Devil Dog game, to come to the game. Lester drops back and rolls out to the left here, looking for somebody downfield.
Has some time, looking towards the end zone. This will hit the ground. Again, they were looking for Clark. No, that's Boyd.
Yeah, I thought that was Clark as well. But again, Danville inviting everybody from that first Devil Dog game.
Yeah, 0 for 2, my mistake. That's Camden Muncie they went for in the end zone. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, you're fine. If you were, I do want to say, if you were a part of that first 11-man Devil Dog game 65 years ago, Danville and East Knox both have stated you're getting into the game free. Both teams will have a jersey for you for your respective school to wear for the game. They want you to join them out on the field for the coin toss. Definitely making a spectacle out of the game next week, and it's rightfully so. Definitely one of the greatest rivalries, not only in Central Ohio but in the state as well. People from all across the state know about the Devil Dog game, and word spreads fast in Ohio.
You know how many people make it out for the Devil Dog game from far and wide? Do you think it's maybe not as many now that we're going to be streaming it?
I would definitely say the streams from the OH.REPORT and other broadcasting companies like WMVO is probably going to be out there.
Oh yeah, no doubt they're going to be there.
It definitely helps some of those guys just kind of stay at home, kind of be comfortable. This late in the season, no doubt it's always a little colder, but
4th down and 10. Lester dropping back. Big rush, throws it, shot to the end zone. Fawcett, this one nearly picked. And I think Marshall decided to let it go because they're going to take the ball instead over at the 18-yard line to start this next one.
Yeah, that right there. I think he knew if he caught that, he was going to be down at the 1, pinning his offense down deep, which for Centerburg so far tonight wouldn't have been much of an issue, but you still don't want to pin your offense that deep.
Yeah, so it kind of went through his hands. We'll see the Trojans turn teams out onto the field. Here comes the offense. They've had some glaring touchdowns today. 2 touchdowns for Marshall on the ground. They had Sean Carter break out a long one. Carter out on the field right now. And Disiani in motion. Back to Sean. The senior breaks through again. Flag down on the field. But Carter is going to take this all the way to the end zone. It would be his 2nd touchdown if the flag ends up being on East Knox.
Yeah, that looked like the exact same play as his first touchdown, just ran backside. Obviously, you see the flag on the field. Not sure what the call is. Based off of where the flag was thrown, I'd say probably a holding, but we'll see what the referees say here. Looks like they're going to bring it back, though.
Yeah, looking at the replay, maybe a couple of blocks that could have triggered some flags.
And it is going to be a holding there for Centerburg. Another big touchdown for Centerburg, called back by a holding penalty. We saw that 90-yard touchdown last week called back
And it's becoming evident that the rush defense for this East Knox team is a big hole this year. It's been rough looking at Marshall and Carter just kind of have their way, and this offensive line kind of just plow through. And for a team that is great everywhere else, when you have that one glaring weakness, it really takes you down quite a bit. Now it's going to be Marshall on the carry. Past the 40, gets a great block up ahead. No flags on the field this time. Marshall looking for one final block, won't get it from Mediciani. He's in the red zone.
Looked like he was just trying to put a move there on the sophomore Rush Beatty, kind of tiptoeing his way up the sideline there with a blocker in front of him.
Carothers Pest Control first down. It looks like Marshall kind of overran his blocker, kind of got in the way and just made it a little bit more awkward.
And that may have been what he was trying to do. He was trying to slow down to give his blocker some extra time to get in front of him. But too little, too late, but still a huge gain. Now they're in the red zone.
Ball to snap. He's not going to have to do much tonight. Just gives it off to Carter. He'll get inside the 10. He'll be right next to the first down marker. Second down on the way. But let's talk about this East Knox team. They look great offensively. They have some great games. It's just the rushing defense has been the big question mark all year long, and we're seeing it in a big way against this Centerburg squad that has been dominant all season long. Carter shrugs off one. Boyd could not bring him down. It's a touchdown for Sean. It's a second of the day. Centerburg makes it now 7 straight games over 40 points.
That's crazy to see. That you don't see it too terribly often at the high school level, seeing this kind of point production out of any one team. But this Centerburg team, they're not like other programs. They're something special that they got going on this year. And they got a lot of guys, again, coming back next year, even though they're losing quite a few seniors. They got a lot of their juniors getting a lot of playing time this year.
Another one through for Fravel. We'll take a break, come back live and free on the OH Report. 40 seconds to go here in quarter number 2. They'll go down quickly with Fawcett at the 20. Give their offense a chance to make a couple throws here with as much time as possible. East Knox, no timeouts. They've already used all 3. They trail 45-1. It'll be a running clock to start the second half.
45-6.
Oh, 45-6. My mistake.
1 touchdown. You got one of the numbers right.
Yeah, they had that long touchdown pass to Fawcett, who went down to the ground on that kickoff. That was early, so East Knox kept it closer, but that first half of the first quarter was just all offense from both sides. This one will go for about a yard. Doesn't seem like we'll see the Bulldogs try to take a shot down the field.
Yeah, that may have been why Fawcett just kind of fell on the ball there on his own 20-yard line with only 40 seconds left on the game. Now we're looking at 15. Looks like Coach Beatty might just be taking it into the halftime here.
10 seconds to go. Not going to get another playoff. Still no running down of the play clock because 0's on the clock. Here we go. Halftime from Chet Looney Field. Centerburg continuing their dominance here in the KMAC. They lead 45-6. as we take a break on the OH Report.
From primary care to orthopedics, women's health to pain management, the Knox Community Hospital Centerburg Health and Wellness Center provides excellent care for virtually all your family's healthcare needs. Comprehensive lab services are also offered at our state-of-the-art facility. Podiatry and surgical consultations too. The Centerburg Health and Wellness Center. It's a world of great care right around the corner.
This place means everything to us. This is where we come together. We do all of our birthdays out here. We grill hamburgers and hot dogs. We fish. I was about to give
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the 2025 edition of the East Knox Bulldogs Band of Pride. Under the direction of Brian W. Knott, Assistant Director, Aaron Vance, Percussion Assistant, Ethan Royer, Major Band Assistant, Clarence Sets, Color Guard Advisor, Nisa Lucky, and Assistant Jenny Smith, and is led onto the field by Field Commander Alexis Nylarger. I am Senior Jaden Hawkins, and I'm your announcer for the evening. Tonight, this show is dedicated to the senior band members of the class of 2026. This one's for you, Daniel, Jacob, Bellin, Clay, Zoe, Milo, and Ryan. Tonight's music and dance were selected and designed by the senior class. We open with a hit by the Backstreet Boys. Here is Everybody's Backstreet's Back. The Band of Pride concludes their show tonight, very appropriately, with a Lady Gaga hit tonight with their version of their hit, Just Dance, featuring a dance designed and led by our seniors of 2026. For your kind attention, and they want to wish the Centerburg band the best of luck for the rest of their school year. The band would like to give a big thank you to our proud sponsors, Donna Collins, Brennan Lumber Company, CES Credit Union, Apple Valley Storage, Kelly's Pizza, Killbuck Savings Bank, and trip number 344. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Bulldog Band of Pride.
Take a look at all the action from Friday night football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Happy Halloween!
Time now for your halftime show presented by Knox Community Hospital and the Centerburg Health and Wellness Center. My name is Jonathon Langdon. Alongside me, Payton Colopy, as we break down this first half that had a lot to break down because we had a lot of scoring. 45-6. Centerburg, their offense continues to roll. The main statistic that we kind of brought up at the beginning of the game was the fact that simply this team has scored 40-plus points in their last 6 games. They get there before the half.
Yeah, that first half, I mean, it was Centerburg. I mean, they just seemed really unstoppable on every front of the game, except really for that one great pass that Lester had for East Knox's only score tonight. Centerburg they're all over the place. They're dominating. They're outpowering everybody on the field. It's just right now it's not even really a close contest, not even just because of the score.
So it started out with a Miles Marshall rushing touchdown, and then we saw East Knox give it away. Centerburg went all the way back and ran it in with Blane Ball, made it a 16-0 game. They got both of those 2-point conversions, and then we saw some fight out of those Bulldogs. They had a long shot to Cason Fawcett, who made it his 3rd touchdown in as many weeks to put 6 on the board. Didn't get the 2-point conversion there. Then Marshall struck again, and then they took a deep shot to Hayden Love. And then Sean Carter has busted out the last 2 touchdowns for Centerburg as they sit in this 45-6 lead. 3rd quarter on the way. East Knox will get the football here to start. Low ball from Fravel, caught in the air, taken down to the ground. And we will see East Knox take over. That was caught by Tanner Severt, the sophomore. He'll make his way over to the sideline. We'll see the first unit still come out. Running clock situation here in the second half as the lead is up to 39.
Yeah, this first drive, maybe 2. You're going to see these first-team varsity guys still out here on the field. But unless East Knox breaks off 2 or 3 quick touchdowns here, this will be pretty much the last you see of these varsity starters.
First down and 10. This ball ran past the 35. Muncie gets the carry there. So East Knox coming into today, we're on a 4-game losing streak. They played some tough games. They played Fredericktown tight last week right here at Chet Looney, 28-19. They got off to such a great start. They actually scored the first touchdown of the game, and then we started to see Fredericktown kind of set the tone the rest of the way as we see a big hit from Haas right at the line of scrimmage. Make it 3rd down and 7.
Boy, the ball carrier.
Haas claiming he has the football. Take a look at this again. He did rip it away, but I think the whistle was blown before.
Yeah, forward progress kind of stopped on that.
It's the second time that's happened.
Almost immediately, and I mean, a good call on the ref blowing the whistle there. But definitely, if this was college or the NFL, that's a takeaway for Haas.
Lester looking to go down the field, has to escape the pocket. He'll throw it away. As he was approached late, we'll see a flag also fly late.
Yeah, I believe that was Hersenberg, number 10 there for East Knox on the hold. He not necessarily bear hugged that defensive lineman there for Centerburg, but he definitely had hold of a lot of white laundry there.
And Coach Colella already motioning over. He's going to decline this penalty. It'll be 4th down and 6. And it looks like we'll see the punt team come out as Carver Stevens will get his boot ready. And Hayden Love will retreat back to return for Centerburg. Low snap. This one handled, nearly blocked, however. This will go near side and will roll past the 30 at the 29.
Carver Stevens with the punt.
Looks like Love was going to pick it up there and try to make a play out of it. I think he was just trying to draw Fawcett in a little closer.
So the Trojan offense, we'll see how many of the first team comes out. Sean Carter has already gotten himself into the game, and he scored 2 touchdowns. Probably could have had a third, but there was a holding call. And on both of those touchdowns, one of them that he actually scored and the other that was called back, I don't think he was touched once.
Yeah, and the hole was, it was a mile wide. You could have drove an 18-wheeler through it. There wasn't anybody near him from the moment he got the ball, again, to the moment he crossed the line of scrimmage. You see him get the ball here again, having to lower his shoulder there. Looks like Boyd making the tackle on that play.
Running clock here, of course, already 4 minutes into this third quarter. Not likely to see too much more scoring. I'll go ahead and tell you, your OH Report MVP tonight is going to be Sean Carter. We'll get a chance to talk to him after the game here tonight, as they honored him as a senior last week, their senior night against Danville. Stoppage here.
Looks like we're having some slight issues with the scoreboard.
Might just be the play clock.
Well, both of the scoreboards just went out there for a second, but they got it back up and running.
Ball takes the snap, gives it off. Here goes Carter again past midfield. Carter shows off the speed past the secondary. It'll be a 3rd touchdown. Now you see why he's going to be your MVP tonight. Sean Carter having a day.
Yeah, he's just been all over the place, offensively and defensively. Really breaking out tonight in the backfield for Centerburg. Now 3 huge touchdown runs for him tonight. And a little bit of frustration shown there for East Knox at the end of that play. A couple of the guys a little upset with themselves, so upset with some of their teammates. But that run by Sean Carter, it was just another great run, just right up the middle, showing off his speed.
And Fravel, through the uprights, he's been perfect on his extra points here as the clock will continue to run. 52-6, Centerburg with the lead. We'll stay here. We'll likely get the kickoff going quickly with the running clock. But Payton, this rush defense, it's been the topic. We won't talk about it too much more because that's been evident what's going on with this East Knox defense and what they're going to need to clean up going against another solid rusher in Cy Wallace next week in the Devil Dog game. But what are some of the things you've seen in a positive way out of that defense that they can carry over into Week 10?
Yeah, tonight they got some really tough, strong runners, and I feel like they kind of held their own for the most part of the game. Able to slow them up for the most part. Obviously, Sean Carter breaking off those 3 huge touchdowns definitely kind of skews those numbers a little bit for them. But I think they got a good defensive unit going. They got some stuff to clean up. They got to learn to get off these blocks a little better. Not a lot of ripping off blocks tonight.
Low squibber. This one taken in by Muncie. Bring up a Carothers pest control first down here in the third quarter. Want to shout out our sponsors bringing you tonight's game as Centerburg dominating over East Knox 52-6. Shout out to the Killbuck Savings Bank. Since 1900, KSB has been proud to serve our community with dedication, integrity, and a commitment to your financial success. In 2025, our organization will mark an incredible milestone, 125 years of building relationships, empowering dreams, and growing together with you at the Killbuck Savings Bank. First down and 10. Jax Lester in the shotgun. New back with him, Wyatt Baker. He'll get the handoff here for a few.
Boyd, the ball carrier.
No, it was Boyd. I thought I saw 21 out there, but my mistake. Landon Boyd.
Game ball ticket, winning ticket number.
So second down and 7 on the 32.
849.
Already halfway through this third quarter. Now, talked about the defense for East Knox. Payton, what does this offense need to see just out of a game like this? Boyd will carry it again.
The biggest thing, honestly, tonight, it's the control of the line of scrimmage. Centerburg defensive line and really their offensive line has controlled the line of scrimmage all night long. Obviously, East Knox is starting in front, not near as big as Centerburg's. That size definitely plays a factor into the game planning when it comes to your big men up front. But they're coming up against a team that's a little closer in size to them. As you see Lester go downfield to Fawcett.
And Fawcett's looking for a second touchdown. He'll get there.
Big pass there by Lester, but looks like there's a flag on the field.
And it is right by Lester's, and that usually means it's going to be a hold. And Fawcett just realized it.
Yeah, and I think that's what the call is going to be, is another hold in there on East Knox.
There is a flag on the play, holding called against the Bulldogs.
That right there is one of the things that East Knox needs to work on a little bit. Haven't been plagued too terribly bad with the flags tonight, but big plays like that, going up against another good defense with Danville, they definitely can't allow those types of mistakes. Very little room for error coming into that Devil Dog game next week. Again, they have to learn to clean up the penalties. They got to sustain their blocks. They got to stick with their game plan. And I think they'll do just fine next week against Danville.
Lester, collapsing pocket, goes up the middle, stays behind the line of scrimmage, makes a catch, or makes a completion out towards midfield for an easy first down. Muncie gets the yardage.
There's another flag that comes in at the tail end of the play by the back judge. I'm not sure what the call is here.
I'm wondering if Lester was past the line of scrimmage when he let go of the football. So they're going to talk about this. We'll show the replay again. The original line of scrimmage was the 35. And if that's the 35 right there, now I think he's plenty ahead. Or it's a 25, yeah, so it is going to be.
It's looks like a blindside block on East Knox. I think is what that call was.
Personal foul called against the Bulldogs.
That hurts too. This East Knox team was flagged 9 times for 85 yards last week. It's not up to that level yet, but this is another thing that needs to clean up from these Bulldogs.
Yeah, again, they had basically zero room for error tonight coming up against this great Centerburg team. Danville next week is going to provide a lot of the same look that Centerburg does with their stout, strong defense that they have. Refs look like they're still talking a little bit.
They gave East Knox the first down, but the 15-yard penalty actually moved them back behind what was the line to gain. So I'm wondering if this should be third down.
Yeah, I think they're trying to figure out where the spot and the chains are actually supposed to be.
So a herd of zebras is going to talk for a little bit here. I got an update from another KMAC game going on. Tanner Schlusser, shout out to him, telling me about Northmore Cardington. It's 28-22 Golden Knights at the half. That was about 16 minutes ago I got that text, so they're probably just getting underway.
That's a game there that I'm a little surprised to see how close it is. Cardington, they're a strong team, but I thought for sure Northmore was going to be able to run away with it again like they did last year, but Cardington showing strong.
And the Pirates, for me, have been I say sleeper loosely because typically when you say sleeper, that means you're expecting them to finish towards the top and kind of an underrated sort of look. But I think they're my dark horse just to finish higher than expectations. They've got a win in the KMAC under their belt. They were able to take down East Knox right here at Chet Looney a couple weeks ago. Here's a handoff given out to Ellswick. And they did ultimately make it third down, and Ellswick makes it a moot point. It's a first down.
Yeah, Ellswick, the 5'8" junior, he's not somebody that we've seen much of tonight, if at all, even though he is a junior. But, again, with the 52-6 score, running clock this second half, only 2 minutes left already in the third quarter. Both teams are going to start working in a lot of their reserve guys.
Ellswick did have a kickoff return earlier, but that's about it. This shot down the field will be too long for Hersenberg.
Lester's passing complete. Brings up 2nd and 10 for the Dogs.
Let's see, Hersenberg slowed up a little bit. So that's one of the Cardinals' sins as a receiver is whenever the ball's thrown your way, do not slow down.
Yeah, that I think the fact that the game is so far out of reach is kind of setting him for some of these East Knox Bulldogs. They're still going to continue to fight throughout the game until that final whistle's blown, but you're going to see a lot of – I don't want to say a lot of that. You're going to see some of that out of some of these players just because they kind of want to just go home, really. You see Hersenberg, they're giving a good run, but taking a big shot by number 13, Briar Stout.
It's a name we haven't said much for this Centerburg defense. Nice shot there. So Briar, a sophomore. It's very clear, second team for Centerburg out defensively. 3rd down and 6 on the Bulldog 46. Lester drops back, needs some time, gets it, shot down the field, looking for Hersenberg again, just out of reach.
Kind of just went straight through his hands. Hersenberg definitely had the chance to make the play there, but just wasn't able to haul it in.
And that'll make it 4th down and 6. Just out of reach. Could make the argument that could have been caught. But that likely will bring out the punt unit unless we see something else happen here. Timer out on the 3rd quarter. We'll take a quick break, come back with the 4th on the OH Report.
From primary care to orthopedics, women's health to pain management, the Knox Community Hospital Centerburg Health and Wellness Center provides excellent care for virtually all your family's healthcare needs. Comprehensive lab services are also offered at our state-of-the-art facility. Podiatry and surgical consultations too. The Centerburg Health and Wellness Center. It's a world of great care right around the corner.
We flip the field here for this fourth quarter in a 52-6 game in favor of Centerburg. Saw East Knox come out to the field, and they forgot to flip the field for a little bit there. Now they're huddled up, ready to go as the running clock continues to go. 4th down and 6 for the Bulldogs as they get the first down and more from Langdon Boyd.
It looks like maybe a little bit of trickery out of East Knox. Direct snap to Boyd. Getting a pretty decent run there to the outside.
Langdon will take his break, well-deserved, over on the sideline. New back will be 43, Jared Ellswick again.
Ellswick getting a little bit of work in this drive.
The junior sits in the right sidecar from Jax. He'll get the ball here. Jared tries to shift towards the middle. He's wrapped up quickly. Trojans' second unit making their way out. The tackle made by Tate Forby, a sophomore. I'll bring up 2nd down and 10 as it gets back to the original line of scrimmage. They're working on the near side hash here.
Centerburg bringing in a couple of their reserve guys, number 28, Henry Carlisle, and number 85, Caleb Rauch. Getting some work in here on Friday night.
Lester dropping back to pass. They're going to take some more deep shots down the field. This one far side. And Hersenberg was the intended target yet again. A little out of his reach, incomplete, no flag.
Came up kind of looking for a flag. Maybe he thought he was his jersey was tugged on a little too much there, but refs certainly didn't see anything that they didn't like. And I do want to take a moment. Just watching Lester throw the ball, even this late in the game, it's a beautiful pass.
It is.
Every time. It's a perfect tight spiral. Good arch on it, plenty of time for his receivers to go under it. I mean, that's just a beautiful looking pass.
He's been great these 4 years that he has been at the helm here for this East Knox squad. Handoff. This is Carver Stevens, who gets to the 35. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Or that'll be 4th down and 4. And now we will see a timeout called by East Knox. 9:15 to go here in the 4th. That'll stop the clock. Both teams will chat for a little bit before this 4th down play as the Bulldogs want to try and get another score on the board. This Centerburg second unit trying to make that obsolete.
It looks like East Knox is bringing their starters out too. I saw a couple of the guys kind of patting themselves on the back, patting Lester on the back there. I'm not surprised they're bringing him out. No sense of keeping him in the game. Chance of getting him hurt, and really, what is a lost cause here tonight. But great game by Lester. Again, congratulations to him. Over 6,000 all-purpose yards in his career, and he's still got the Devil Dog game to come. Unfortunately, with tonight, I think playoffs might be a little out of reach for East Knox based off of the points that they have so far this year. But a great showing out of this young man, his entire career, out of this entire team all season. These seniors, their whole careers, all 4 years, have played really tough.
9 minutes to go. Clock rolls again. New quarterback into the game is number 4, Tanner Severt. 4th down and medium as this play looks to be broken up by Centerburg. Nice crowd making the tackle. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Let's see who's the first there. 56 for Centerburg. That's Ashton Anderson. Helping give time for the herd to make a tackle. But East Knox, you talked about their playoff picture. They were technically still in the playoff picture simply because of the points available to them in event that they were able to get a win here against Centerburg tonight. They would have jumped way up in the rankings in that region, which is kind of interesting to think about because in that region, I wish I had the graphic up to show what teams are still kind of in the fight. as Carlisle gets a carry and gets a first down and more. Carlisle past the 40, knocked out of bounds.
Took a good shot there by number 21, Wyatt Baker.
But in that region, Division 6, Region 23, I think it's one of the toughest regions in small school football. Not because of the top-end talent, but because of the depth that they have. Centerburg number 1 in that region. You got Mount Gilead right up there at number 2. KMAC dominating that region. But then you've got, I believe, 12 and 13 could upset a 5 on a given night in Week 11. So it's exciting to see how that will break out. We'll break it down on the pigskin tonight as Carlisle, 2 carries, 2 big plays, and now he's got a touchdown.
Carlisle, the 5'4" sophomore for Centerburg, getting himself into the end zone here tonight, adding an extra little helmet sticker to his collection that he's got going.
So Carlisle breaks it near side, and nobody can catch up with him. Great to see him cross the end zone. That makes it now the highest score of the season for Centerburg. It was previously 53 in their game against Worthington Christian to end non-conference play. But they have even still one-upped themselves in what has been a great regular season. Fravel, another kick, another one through. 6.5 to go and counting. It is now 59-6 here from Tough Street. But some of the teams in Division 6, Region 23. You've got Centerburg, you've got Mount Gilead, Fort Fry. I've seen a lot on Fort Fry. They look outstanding. They're in that region as well. You've got Ashland Crestview and Northmore both fighting for that final 12 spot. And it's unfortunate because I can kind of tell as things are lining up, one of them is going to knock out the other. Odds of them both getting in, very slim. And I also forgot to mention Colonel Crawford in that region as well.
Yeah, Colonel Crawford, they're another one of the teams that's kind of always in the mix. Fort Fry has had a lot of success over the last 10 years, really putting something together this year already through Week 9. But I do want to say, Jonathon, I believe you just called Chet Looney Tough Street. I believe that just came out of your mouth. And I can't believe you do that the week before the Devil Dog game.
59-6, this ball to the knee at the 15. Forgive me.
All is forgiven. All is forgiven.
But East Knox, they will be eliminated after tonight. They're actually tied with another team. I don't remember the school, but that team who was tied in points with them was eliminated. But it was just simply because they were not playing anybody as of quality of Centerburg to get potential points to jump into that 12 spot. But with this loss tonight, East Knox is officially out. But it is interesting in the lower divisions that a team sitting at 1-7 stayed in the race all the way up until Week 9.
Yeah, East Knox, right now looks like Joe Idle has them as tied for 24th.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, because they were even with points, but then you look at Fairbanks.
Yeah, the points
schedule.
Really are all super close from East Knox all the way up to Martins Ferry. Honestly, if they would have pulled the win off tonight, I think East Knox definitely had a good argument for themselves getting into the playoffs in that number 12 spot. But after tonight, it's definitely going to be out of reach for them. Something they're going to have to work on for next year. Hopefully get them in the playoffs, back into the playoffs next year.
It's going to be back-to-back years that we see the Bulldogs short of a playoff spot. Handoff here, Ellswick up the middle to the 25. That'll bring up third down. Actually, no, they're going to move the chains. Give it a first down. Ellswick with the carry. He's going to go to the sideline here. Quarterback gets the play call. Severt.
Ellswick, he got some pretty decent looks tonight, picking up the first down there on a good solid run for the young running back for East Knox.
With the win tonight for Centerburg, they have pretty much clinched a bye a first week bye in the tournament. It'll depend on how points line up. Joe Idle will put it out tonight where they stand. They still, coming into the week, are at number 1. I would not imagine them jumping down with the convincing win that they have here.
Yeah, even with Mount Gilead playing Loudonville tonight. Loudonville 3-5 on the year so far. I'm not sure what the score is for that game. I've tried messaging some of my informants. Looks like Mount Gilead at the end of the third was up 20-14.
And that's what I thought. I thought Loudonville was going to play them a little bit close because they've done that a couple of times. They played Fredericktown to an overtime thriller. They ultimately ended up losing that game, and then some other games down the line that they've also been able to stay close in, like Danville.
Well, and that just goes to show that just because Loudonville is showing 3-5 through the 8 weeks of the season that we've seen so far, their record, just like East Knox, doesn't show how good of a team they actually are and how good of a team they can be. A lot of potential on that Loudonville team, a lot of young guys playing. It's a very young team. Coach Honebarger's definitely been able to put something together that the kids are starting to buy into this year. Getting a lot of experience to those young guys. They're going to be pretty dangerous the next couple of years. But, again, at 3-5, playing as tight as they are against Mount Gilead, who's 7-1.
Rough toss here. Centerburg's going to force East Knox to a loss on the carry by Lucas Colopy.
Yeah, I was looking at that Lucas Colopy.
I was gonna see if you knew.
I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit. Might be some family homage down there on the field that I didn't realize.
But just circling back to East Knox, of course, the rough loss today, 59-6. But I've kind of noticed this trend with some of the teams towards the bottom of the KMAC standings, where they are making strides, keeping it much closer in many games. Now Centerburg's a different animal this season. But like the Cardingtons, the Loudonvilles, the East Knoxes, they've been able to have some solid games this year as we see a carry from Severt go to the 30.
And that goes to show, just like you were talking about with Region 23 and D6, the depth of that region is still really, up until tonight, was wide open. The same goes for the KMAC conference. Honestly, I think it's one of the best small school conferences in the state, and that to me is said with zero bias behind that. Obviously, growing up in Danville, living in Danville my entire life, there's zero bias behind me saying that, and it's just because going into every season with this conference, you never know really who's going to really stand out. Obviously, Centerburg's just kind of ran away with everything this year, but it could be anybody at any given point.
This will be taken to a knee by the new quarterback, Graham Smith, the freshman. Takes a knee to the 35, and that will likely do things here tonight. Remind you, this is a KMAC conference that had 2 state Final Four teams last year. The bottom feeders are stepping up, making this a quality conference this year that could see some more playoff success, especially from the team at the top of your screen, the Centerburg Trojans, 59, East Knox 6. A dominant performance again. The Trojans up to 7 straight wins. And in the center of your screen, Sean Carter will be your MVP tonight. We'll talk with him in a moment on the OH Report.
From primary care to orthopedics, women's health to pain management, the Knox Community Hospital Centerburg Health and Wellness Center provides excellent care for virtually all your family's healthcare needs. Comprehensive lab services are also offered at our state-of-the-art facility. Podiatry and surgical consultations too. The Centerburg Health and Wellness Center. It's a world of great care right around the corner.
This place means everything to us. This is where we come together. We do all of our birthdays out here. We grill hamburgers and hot dogs. We fish. I was about to give up. I was about to think that the property wasn't going to become mine. Rural First specializes in solving the problems. I made the call, and the rest is history. It was done. It made everything easy. Questions answered, walked me through the process. It was done. When I'm here, just feel peace. That's all it means to me. Peace.
Take a look at all the action from Friday night football right here in North Central Ohio with great analysis, highlights, coach interviews, and so much more every single Friday night right here on the OH Report.
Happy Halloween!
Time now for your player of the game here from East Knox High School. Centerburg Trojans come in, big win, 59-6. It's all thanks to Sean Carter, 3 touchdowns. Should have been 4 today, but Sean, congratulations.
Thank you.
Coming in as a senior, how special is this group, just as you go week to week and now make it 7 straight wins?
Oh, it's very special. You know, the brotherhood. We've been growing up since like elementary school, and we all love each other. We all stick together and work hard together.
Well, Sean, take me through your week in preparation and what you saw out of this East Knox team to simply dominate out here this week.
Yeah, we know we had to establish our run quickly and be able to run at will, and I think we did that pretty well tonight.
Well, Sean, brag on some of your teammates because you've got some special studs. Blane, of course, with a touchdown through the air, touchdown through the ground. Miles also had 2 touchdowns. He's been having a season. Just how about the depth that you guys have?
Yeah, we're really we have good depth. You know, everybody's weapon. Yeah, we all just go out and play hard. And, anybody can score anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean, and then touching on you as a senior, of course, Freddieburg coming up next week. I know it's going to be special for you as it's the last rendition of that rivalry, and then moving into the postseason. You guys have clinched a bye now for Week 11. Just take me through, kind of as a senior, how you're just kind of handling all of this.
I like it. Never had a bye week before. So we have to stay focused, obviously, don't lose track of what we want to accomplish at the end. Like, we want to go deep in the playoffs, so we have to stay focused.
All right, Sean, take a look in that camera. Give your shout-outs.
My O-line, of course, and my friends and family, and my coaches.
All right, Sean Cotter, 3 touchdowns today in the big win over East Knox. Time now for your post-game show presented by Knox Community Hospital and the Centerburg Health and Wellness Center. Jonathon Langdon here alongside Payton Colopy as we break this one down. Not a whole lot to break down other than this rushing game and this offensive line for Centerburg is, as advertised, of course, running through the KMAC right now, quite literally, metaphorically as well. Just take me through from start to finish what the Centerburg team excelled at to jump past East Knox tonight.
Yeah, I mean, watching the game, it almost looked like they didn't really have to do a lot different than really what they had to do last week against Danville. Definitely established control of the line of scrimmage very early, I mean, from the get-go. And then opening up those huge holes for Sean Carter and company. Definitely helps out a lot with those guys in the backfield being able to break off these huge plays. But, again, big credit to that big offensive line there for Centerburg.
So a good win tonight for the Trojans. Going to show you every single touchdown that we recorded today from the Centerburg Trojans. It's going to take a while. It's about 2 minutes, this reel. Let me go ahead and speed up the replay, get that going a little bit quicker. But you saw Marshall break in for a touchdown. And then you also are going to see here Blane Ball got into the action on the ground. His 21st touchdown, or actually his 22nd touchdown of the year, both running and passing. He keeps proving that why he should be the Kamiseman this year, along with his counterpart, Miles Marshall, who gets another run. It looks nearly identical to the last, but just that first level from East Knox, there's some questions still needing to be answered as they go into Devil Dog next week.
Yeah, East Knox definitely struggled tonight, and it's easy to struggle against a team like Centerburg that's just so good all around in every aspect of the game, from the quarterback, running backs and receivers, the line, and even on the defensive side of the ball. They're just kind of really just dominating all over the field in every aspect of the game. It's hard for teams to keep up with a program like this Centerburg team this year.
That was Sean Carter's second touchdown. He got a third one later on. And here is that touchdown. Just showing off the speed. Got to talk to him for our MVP conversation. he's just kind of taking it day by day as his senior career comes to a close, but definitely doesn't seem like it's coming to a close because this team could be playing week 13, week 14, we'll see. But Trojans right now, as they are dominating the KMAC, showing why they could be a team that makes some noise in the postseason, because we had 2 Final Four teams. It feels like somebody's got to go deep. Why not Centerburg?
Yeah, I think Centerburg's definitely got an argument to be that next Final Four team to come out of the KMAC this year. They definitely have the ability and the talent and the coaching staff to even go into the state finals this year, but we'll see how these playoffs come. Records set over at 0-0, so we'll see how playoffs go for Centerburg.
2 of the biggest games of the year next week involve these 2 teams. Freddyburg over at Fredericktown, Devil Dog on turf for the first time ever over at Tough Street.
Yeah, again, Freddyburg is one of the great rivalries in small school football here in Ohio. And people may say it's a little biased. I still think the Devil Dog game's gotta be, even though it's really just been dominated by Danville pretty much from the get-go, now going into its 65th year of 11-man Devil Dog games. I'm really excited to be there for the Devil Dog game next week. A little disappointed also to miss out on the Freddyburg game because I know that's going to be a great one.
It's going to be one where we, as a broadcast crew, have 5, maybe 6 screens up above as we're calling the game. We'll focus in on Devil Dog because we're both excited to call some Danville East Knox action, but it is going to be a fun week number 10, that is for sure. Final sponsors rolling through your screen one final time here as we wrap up from Chet Looney Stadium. I'm Jonathon Langdon, Payton Colopy, your color commentator tonight, and Dylan Farrell on camera upstairs today. Have a great rest of your night. Make sure to stay tuned. The Friday Night Pigskin will break down all of our OH Report coverage tonight at 11:30.